Okay. I'm going to say something super fucking wild. But listen to me. So, what if season 1 and 2, well, season 1 and 2, no, episode 1 and 2 have officially dropped on Disney Plus? And I am here to say that I believe that this is how the Multiversal Saga should have been. The Multiversal Saga, instead of, because, and I'm always going to argue this, Endgame was the perfect bookend for the characters that we had essentially spent the last 10 years with. The Multiversal Saga, especially stepping into the idea and concept of the multiverse, it should have introduced new heroes, yes. You should have given us Shang-Chi. You should have introduced the Marvels. But for the most part, we should have spent a whole lot more time with these different multiversal variants of the characters that we've essentially known and loved for the last 15 years. And the reason why I say that is because the very first episode of season 2 of What If, in my opinion, deals with Nebula. However, it takes the concept of a backstory of a character that we are intrinsically familiar with. It takes her backstory and it puts a spin on it. Instead of getting a generic Marvel movie about a character that we basically came to know and love at the end of Infinity War and especially in Endgame, it takes that character and it introduces that character into a universe that is so fucking close and so fucking similar to Blade Runner. Like, I did not realize how much I wanted to see Marvel characters in basically just these other genres of movies that we've seen. Like taking Nebula and then placing Nebula on I know it's the Nova Corps, Xandar, placing her on Xandar, and then turning Xandar into like this grimy dystopian cyberpunk universe where there's all this rain and there's all this atmosphere and she's driving around in the vehicle as though it's Blade Runner 20 I don't know why it's Cyberpunk 2077, but then it's like Blade Runner 2049, some shit. I'm getting my numbers confused, but introducing her to essentially that type of universe where the colors are a little bit drawn out and things look gloomy and they look dark, and she's basically on the hunt as a detective to like uncover the murder of Yondu and figure out exactly what the hell is going on. That is what the multiversal saga should have been. The multiversal saga should have been new characters being introduced to our universe, but different variants of the characters that we came to know and love being introduced essentially in their own home universe, where we can take a step back and we can see this version of Nebula, and we can see this version of Thanos, and we can see that version of Gamora. That these new characters do not taint the ones that we've formed basically a relationship with over the last 10 years. And then it's dipping into these different aspects of cinema where you can, let's say you wanted to do, I don't know, a version of Thor Ragnarok that was more Mad Max Fury Road. Or hell, you could even take a situation where Tony Stark is the one who is basically sent, instead of Bruce Banner being sent to Sakaar, it's Tony being sent to Sakaar. But Sakaar is more of a Mad Max universe, and it pulls from the feel of a Mad Max film and a Mad Max genre, where he's in the middle of the desert and he's literally building shit from boxes of scraps, and he's just out there being an absolute menace and just being a pain in the side of I'm forgetting his goddamn name too. The brother of the collector. The Jeff Goldblum played him. I can see him. The Grand Inquisitor. No. The Grand something. It don't matter. He'll come to me later. But being able to see different versions of these characters and have fun with these different versions of these characters, where nothing feels like it's a major rehash, like we've walked down this path before. Instead, we're able to appreciate these new stories that are being told. And at the end of all of these stories, you have that singular threat of the person that's basically moving the needle. If I just move this one thing over here, Nebula, it doesn't save Gamora. Gamora dies and she goes off on a completely different adventure. If I just move this one thing over here, Bruce Banner isn't beamed to Sakaar. Instead, it's Tony Stark trying to stop the Hulk from leaving and reminding him that he has friends on Earth. If I just push this one thing just a centimeter to the side, Doctor Strange actually dies in his car accident, and you have a completely different Doctor Strange who basically goes off to assist the Avengers in the future. Or if I move this one thing over here, the Avengers don't form in the 2000s. Just like in episode 2, the Avengers end up forming in like 1970 something, or like in like the 80s. That would have been awesome. I absolutely loved both of these fucking episodes. I think both these episodes are fantastic in every way, shape, and form. The very first episode, I love it for completely different reasons in comparison to the second episode. The first episode was definitely about Gamora and a Blade Runner feel. The second episode was basically just making What If shine, making the reason for its existence be valid, where, like I said, just a few things have changed and the entirety of an Earth is completely different from the one that we are familiar with, where Ego actually gets Peter because this version of Yondu is a fucking villain. And because that version of Yondu is a fucking villain, he hands Peter over, not giving a shit, to raise Peter as his kid. And Ego is able to begin his job of the expansion. And he's using Peter as essentially like a puppet, sending him around to just muck things up, to cause chaos throughout the galaxy and wipe out the people that would essentially be attempting to stop him in some way, shape, or form. Love it. Absolutely love it. I think both these episodes were fucking great. I loved seeing the characters interact with each other, especially characters that weren't essentially around one another early on. Like, for instance, this threat is so big and just so absolutely insane that you run into a situation where uh basically you've got King T'Chaka from fucking Wakanda. You've got the original fucking Giant Man. You've got Ant-Man. You've got Captain Marvel, because she's on Earth working for the Air Force. The Earth got its heavy hitters. It recruited its variant of the Avengers, and I love it. I loved seeing it. I could imagine seeing this with I can't remember his name. Atwan Candy. I want to say it's Atwan Kandi, who is the son of the older version of King T'Chaka. Bucky Barnes running into freaking Peggy and Howard Stark, way off in the past. Great, love it. Want more of it. I want to see that in live action. Be able to sit back and just enjoy it. A whole movie just about this. Instead of 30 minutes of this, you can give me a whole fucking movie of this, and I'd watch it, and I'd enjoy it. I'm one of those people that I said that I fucking loved season 1 of What If. I thought it was great, and I believe that season 2 definitely started off way stronger than season 1. And whoo boy. Oh, we're in for the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some good content. Let me know what you thought about What If you've seen the first 2 episodes of this season. Comment down below. The Percy Jackson review is either gonna come tomorrow or it's gonna come like a little bit later on. I'm a little bit slow to getting the Percy Jackson, but it is definitely in the pipe. It is on the way. But like I said, comment below. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.